to be here for his speech. Narae Takbir, Narae Risalat, Darbar Aliya Ghamkol Sharif.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم افتح علينا فتوح العارفين ووفقنا توفيق الصالحين وانفعنا اللهم بالقرآن والذكر الحكيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I would like to begin by offering my respect and gratitude to the soul of this gathering, Urs Sharif today, Sufi Aba Safa, Al-Hajj, Khalifatul Mujaz, Ghamkol Sharif, Sufi Muhammad Abdullah Khan Sahib, Hafidahullah Ta'ala. And I'd like to present my salam to the ulama and the other khulafa of Ghamkol Sharif that are present today, and to all my brothers and sisters that have come today to participate in this beautiful gathering of Al-Urs Sharif in the remembrance of the great Wali of Allah, Khawaja Khawaja Zinda Pir, Rahmatullah Ta'ala alay. The topic that I've been given today to speak about is, what does it mean to be a Mureed? What are the adab of a Mureed? And this is a very difficult topic to speak about, and especially to sum it up in a short amount of time. And more so difficult coming from someone who is not a Mureed Sadiq himself. Wabillahi tawfiq, I intend to say a few words from what have been reported from the awliya Allah, the Sufiya, regarding the adab, the akhlaq, the mannerisms, the conditions of a true murid. Ibn Ata'illah Sikandari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he asks a question and he says, do you know who is the biggest loser on the face of the earth? Who loses out most? And he says, the loser is the one who left this dunya without tasting the most sweetest thing in the dunya. And the most sweetest thing, another shay fi dunya, is munajat billah, is speech with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, dhikr of Allah, the qurb of Allah, the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla. And this is the simple goal of a murid. A person becomes a murid with a kamil shaykh in order to become close to Allah, to know Allah, have the qurb and ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla. But this does not just happen because you give your hand into the hand of a kamil shaykh. The first prerequisite being that the shaykh you find must be kamil. But even if you find a kamil shaykh, it does not mean you become a murid sadiq. And the awliya Allah speak about what does it mean to be a murid sadiq. And they give one example and they say, if you understand this example, you will know what it means to be a murid sadiq. They said the example of a murid is like the seed. Is like the seed. That's where he begins, and that's where he ends. The seed has within itself the ability to come forth, sprout as a plant, become a tree, and bear fruit. But this does not happen overnight. This takes a lot of struggle, a lot of effort. So the very first thing this seed needs is land. Land in which it will be sowed. This land is the land of your Shaykh. This is the tariqah that you join. Once the seed is sowed in, it now needs water. And this water is the faizan of your Shaykh. This is another of your Shaykh, which will water this seed. But in order for this seed to sprout, it must go underground. It must humble itself. And as long as the Mureed, being the seed, does not show humility, does not humble himself, does not pass through the state of fana, he can never sprout out. He must be humble. He must get rid of any claim that he may have. I am learned, I'm an alim, or I am intelligent, or I am eloquent, or I have hifdul Quran, whatever claim it may be. The seed has to get rid of this claim and go down under. It must go down under in order for it to sprout out. And if the seed does go under, and the faizan of the Kamil Shaykh is there, like the water and the sun and the environment, soon enough, this seed will sprout. And after a period of time, this seed will become a tree. And this tree will bear fruit, and it will give shade, and it will benefit itself and others around it. It may be your family members, it may be the community, it may be the city. And this is how the awliya Allah judge a Mureed Sadiq. Is the Mureed Sadiq in his tariq or is he not? The judgment is made as such that does he come out at the end bearing fruits in order to guide people to Allah, for himself to be an embodiment of perfection. It's not necessary that you gain a title of Khalifa or Shaykh or Pir. No, this is not what I'm speaking about. You could be a Wali Allah and not have a title of a Shaykh, not have a title of a Khalifa. Having a title of a Khalifa, Shaykh, Pir is a larger responsibility. This is not what we aim for. You aim for purity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you know, every wali that becomes a wali has to first become a mureed. A wali can't become a wali if he doesn't become a mureed of a shaykh. And he has to humble himself. And a living example that we have is the great Khawaja Baba Qasim Mureed, alay rahma, who planted a seed in the land of Ghamkol, and this seed sprouted, and it came forth with its fruits being born all over the world by the name of Khawaja Zinda Pir, alay rahma. This is twofold: the Kamil Shaykh and the Mureed Sadiq. The Kamil Shaykh and the Mureed Sadiq. And this same Kamil Shaykh, Khawaja Zinda Pir, alay rahma, plants a seed in the land of Birmingham. And this seed has sprouted. And today this seed is amongst us. By the name of Khawaja Sufi Muhammad Abdullah Khan Sahib, Hafidahullah Ta'ala. And Allah Ta'ala elongate his life. These people and their realities will be known on Yawm al-Qiyamah. The unfortunate thing amongst Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah is when these people are alive amongst us, we give them no value. But when they leave the dunya and they do hijab from the dunya, only then do we say, there was a man of Allah, now we miss his presence. Honor people whilst they are alive amongst you. And in order for this seed to sprout in this land, there was not only a need for a Kamil Shaykh, there was need for the Mureed Sadiq. We find many khulafa of many awliya Allah coming from Pakistan, coming from India, coming from Sham, coming from other places of the world. There's no fault in the wali. The Shaykh is coming. The Shaykh has the water. He is there to give you. The problem normally comes in the sidq of the Mureed. How sincere is the Mureed? I asked one man of Allah, and I said to him, why is it in our age that the awliya Allah are few? He said to me, this is not correct. Awliya Allah shall remain till Imam Mahdi. And this is a promise from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They will not finish. Some of them will be zahir and some will batin. The problem of today's age is we have very few muridun that are sadiq in trying to maintain the true adab to come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla. This murid has certain adab with Allah. This murid has certain adab with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. This murid has certain adab with his shaykh. This murid has certain adab with his ikhwan, with the brothers of the tariqah. This murid has certain adab regarding himself. And I believe most of us seated here today, young brothers, mashallah, are muridun of shuyukh, of awliya Allah, inshaAllah. But you know what will happen? Is because of our faults, 20 years will pass, 30 years will go by, and we will not bear the fruit of what it really meant to be a murid sadiq. I ask you, inshallah, today to give me an ear, so that if we are falling short, we begin to rectify ourselves in becoming true men of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're not going to know Allah unless you take the hand of a wali, unless you have been made wali from birth. And this is illa ma sha'Allah. But for most of us, you want to become a true wali of Allah, you have to give your hand in the hand of a wali. And when you give your hand, it's not only enough. Now you have to maintain the adab of what it means to be a murid. There are many adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the words of tasawwuf are filled with this. I want to highlight only two. The first being, a murid sadiq with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never turn to Allah last. He will turn to Allah first. People of the dunya, whenever they have any problems, they always turn to the khalq first, and when nobody is able to help them, then they turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla. This is not the adab of a murid. The murid turns to Allah first in the smallest difficulties and the greatest of difficulties. His support is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His reliance is upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep this in mind. Ponder over ourselves. When we have difficulties, to whom do we turn? Upon whom is our inner true reliance? Is it upon the doctor? Is it upon the family member? Is it upon a friend? Or is it really and truly upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of the universe? This is the first of the adab that I have mentioned regarding the murid's adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the adab that I'm speaking about are not specific to any tariqah. They're not specific to any particular tariqah. You go to any turq, any tariqah from the turq, any man of Allah, there are certain things he will teach everybody. There are certain things they will teach every person that attends, who is a murid or is not a murid. Because these are certain things that the awliya Allah have taken from Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The awliya Allah are brothers. The awliya Allah are like flowers of one garden bed. And it is the main rose, who is Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Every wali, every tariqah takes you back to Allah. by means of Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. What you and I need to be concerned about is whether we are traveling this path in order to come nearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla. The second adab that we must have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla is that you do not seek anything in return for the worship you do to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It should not be that a man worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 70 years, praying in jama'ah, standing in tahajjud, fasting every day, and he wants Allah ta'ala to give him in return of his worship. This is bad adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the one who gave you tawfiq to worship Him in the first place. Allah Ta'ala is the one who created your actions, created you. Allah Ta'ala gives us out of His bounty, His fadl, not because of our worship. Not because of our worship. A great man of Allah from the awliya Allah, he worshipped Allah for 70 years. Old man, white beard. Allah Ta'ala wanted to test him and show the angels the maqam of this man. So Allah Ta'ala sent an angel to him. He was busy in worship. So Allah Ta'ala's angel said to this man, I have come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala has told me to inform you that all of your 70 years of worship, I have rejected it. Everything's rejected. He's old, he's about to die. And this man of Allah, he didn't move. He didn't move. He continued worshipping. So the angel asked him, are you not afraid? Are you not concerned? Are you not upset? He said, the job of the slave is to worship Allah. It is the job of Allah Ta'ala to accept or reject. Allah does what He wants. I will continue doing what I must do. Because it is an order from Allah to come and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you stand in worship, you don't stand thinking, Ya Allah, I'm going to pray, you give me a son. Ya Allah, I'm going to pray, you give me a maqam. Seeking anything other than Allah for worship is bad adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala gives tawfiq that our worship is liwajhillah. It's for the sake of Allah, not for the sake of any maqam, for the sake of any dunya, for the sake of any title. And there are many more adab regarding or between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are adab between us, Mureedun, and Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In that we love Him, in that we follow Him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in that we take upon His sunnah, in that we make mention of Him, in that we read salawat upon Him, in that we teach His seerah to our children. The adab with regard to Sayyidina Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam are endless. Then there are adab between you and your shaykh. And this is one of the major parts where people fall short. In order for you to be a true mureed sadiq, you must be truthful sadiq in the love of your shaykh. You must love him in his presence and in his absence. The love of the shaykh must overcome the heart. You must be completely preoccupied with the love of the shaykh. The love of the shaykh means the love of the tariqah. Abu Ali al-Daqqaq, rahimahullah ta'ala, one of the greatest awliya Allah, he explains this relationship between you and your shaykh, between you and the tariqah. And he says, if you do not give all of yourself to the shaykh, to the tariqah, it will not give some of it back to you. That is to say, in order for you to get some of the khasa'is of the tariqah, the lata'if of the tariqah, the barakat of the tariqah via the shaykh, you have to give all of yourself to it. And if you have not given yourself to it, to the Shaykh, you will never reap any reward. Most Mureedun give bay'ah to a Shaykh, love the Shaykh, but the love is merely with word. It's merely with word. Love of the Shaykh means that you love those that love him, that you dislike those that dislike him, that you be occupied with what he is occupied with, that you be concerned with what he is concerned with, that love necessitates that you follow him. If he wears a particular dress, the Mureed Sadiq by default will start wearing that particular dress. If he speaks in a particular manner, that Mureed Sadiq will unintentionally start speaking in that same manner. When people start saying that they have become a particular group, by Allah, not always the case. Sometimes when the Shaykh is Kamil and the Mureed is Sadiq, whether he wants to or he does not, it is out of his control. He starts behaving like the Shaykh behaves. And until you're not like this, that when people see you, they are reminded of your Shaykh, you are not Sadiq in the obedience of your Shaykh. And a living example of this, Bilal Mubalagha, is our Khawaja Sufi Sahib. From the young age, we have seen this person in his istiqamah with his dhikr. Those that have been attending Ghamkol Sharif, Darbar Sharif in the dhikr, when he was here, when he was opposite the road, when he was in Durham mode, a very long time ago. From that time till today, you find this Mureed Sadiq maintaining the halaqat al-dhikr of his Shaykh, behaving like his Shaykh, walking like his Shaykh, talking like his Shaykh. And it is only then that you will truly reap the reward of being in the company of the Shaykh. Much can be said about the behavior of the Mureed with the Shaykh, in that if you are with the Shaykh, the awliya Allah mention, you don't laugh with him, even if he laughs with you. If you're with the Shaykh, you don't take up a lot of his time. If the Shaykh is absent, you don't sit in his place. If you're with the Shaykh, you do not take a seat on his right hand side or his left hand side unless he puts you there on the right or left hand side. If you're with your Shaykh as a beginner Mureed, you don't persistently look at the face of the Shaykh, because the face of the Shaykh is the mastar for you to attain barakat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is like looking at the sun. It may blind you, one. And it may also be that if you continuously look at the Shaykh, the awe that you have for the Shaykh may lower and fall, which will result in your adab, in your love for the Shaykh being decreased and reduced. And when this is reduced, your sayr ila Allah becomes difficult. Abu al-Daqqaq also mentions that the best, rather Mawla Arabi al-Darqawi mentions that the best way for you to come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala via your Shaykh is al-mahabbah, is love for the Shaykh, love for every part of the Shaykh. And it is love that will make you reach maqamat that you cannot reach otherwise. It is love of the Shaykh that will make you reach maqamat that you cannot reach otherwise. Be preoccupied with your tariqah, with the instructions of your Shaykh, with the dhikr that he has given. There you will find the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are certain adab of the Mureed Sadiq with his ikhwan, with the brothers of the tariqah. And this includes the brothers of the tariqah and Muslimun collectively. But more specifically the brothers of the tariqah. The as Imam Sha'rani mentions, is that you become blind from their defects. You become blind from the defects. You do not see the defects of your brothers. If you happen to see the defect of your brother, you must make an interpretation of this defect. And if you are unable to make a valid interpretation of this defect, then blame yourself, for your heart is not pure enough that it became vigilant of the defect of your brother. The awliya Allah mentioned that the most harmful thing for a Mureed Sadiq, the most harmful thing that will corrupt the heart, that will make your a'mal futile, that will lead you to your destruction, that may incur the wrath of Allah Ta'ala upon you, is when the Mureed becomes vigilant of the ayub of other people, and he becomes blind from his own ayub, from his own ayub. When a Mureed becomes such, it doesn't make a difference whether his hand is in the hand of the greatest wali of the time. The awliya Allah, like rain, they will give you water. You have to become a recipient of that water in order for it to purify your heart. And until you are not able to remove hatred for other Muslimun, khasatan for your own ikhwan, you will never be able to reap the benefits of being with a shaykh and being a mureed kamil. We have many examples, and these examples of the Sufiya, the awliya Allah, carry many meanings from which we learn. And we learn to follow these people so that we, like them, draw nearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One beautiful account of a man, a Mureed Sadiq, and he was a true Mureed of his Shaykh. The Shaykh lived in a particular home, and it was seen that a lady who was Ajnabiyya entered that home, and there was no one else in that home but the Shaykh. So there was one man in the community whose heart was corrupt and enjoys fitna. He went and told people, the whole village was the Mureed of the Shaykh, and said, do you know that lady entered into that house? She's Ajnabiyya of the Shaykh. So they all came to the house of the Shaykh, and they could hear what was happening inside. They could hear what was happening inside. And every one of them, their hearts became full of bad dhann on their Shaykh, until they even seen the lady exiting from the house. All of them left the Shaykh and walked away. Soon enough, on the door of the Shaykh, there was a knock. The Shaykh opened the door, and there was a Mureed. And this Mureed had a tub of water, warm water. There's no electricity in them ages. So the Shaykh said, what is this? He said, because you've been with a lady, now ghusl became wajib upon you. As a Mureed, my duty is to provide water for you, khidmah for you. The Shaykh then showed that this was a true Mureed, the Mureed Sadiq. And he said, do you know who that Ajnabiyya lady was? That was my wife. That was my wife. Me being at home alone with her is halal for me. But it was the test, the imtihan for the Mureedun, as to how they look at the Shaykh. And they failed, and you have passed. Sincerity in the Mureed is what will make a person achieve the lofty stations with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla. The young Mureed, by young I mean the beginner in this path, he not be occupied with debates and argumentation, even if it be for the haqq. Even if it be for the haqq. Because argumentation and trying to solve the matters of the world will result in this young Mureed, who's not traveled the path as of yet with the Shaykh, in spending all his life with what does not concern him. And what concerned him was his own rectification he was not occupied with. And then it becomes too late for the murid to start looking at his own heart. Debating and argumentation or solving the issues of people is left for the ulama to do. People may think that why do the ulama debate? Why do the ulama argue? It is their duty. It is not the duty of lay people to be arguing about issues that do not concern them. Leave this to the ulama to rectify, to explain the issues of aqidah or fiqh or tasawwuf or any wrongdoing that may take place. It is their duty to sort the issue out. You and I may think that when a man becomes kamil shaykh, he need not be occupied with debate and argumentation. That is not the case. It is rather the opposite. That only when you have achieved a true maqam with Allah, that you are sincere for the sake of Allah, that you are allowed to now go and solve the issues of other people. A beautiful example of this is Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu in the battle where he was about to strike the enemy when he came on top of him. And the enemy spat at his face and Sayyidina Ali withdrew. And the reason of withdrawal was that Sayyidina Ali said, initially I was fighting you for the sake of Allah, the sake of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. But now that you spat at my face, my personal revenge has become involved. Now I separate fighting with you. Because of the maqam that he was at, he understood his nafs, when it is being controlled or when it is trying to control the mureed who is a beginner. People need to be the mureed with his adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, adab with Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, adab with his shaykh, adab with his ikhwan, adab with the tariqah. He has certain adab, akhlaq that he must acquire regarding himself. It is easy to say that you are a mureed of a big wali, but when you make such a claim, you have to live up to this claim. Because the mureed in truth is a reflection of the shaykh. And if the mureed behaves in an incorrect manner, although the shaykh may be free from this, it gives a bad reflection to his murshid, the shaykh kamil. The mureed who becomes a mureed must begin with mujahada with himself. There must be struggle. If there is no struggle, there are no fruits to be borne. It is like the seed. The seed must face the struggle in going down under the ground. And until it doesn't do such, it will not come forth and bear fruits for other people to benefit from. Mujahada of the nafs continues from the beginning till the end. But in that the mujahada is different for the different types of people that may be on the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla. The mureed who becomes a mureed of the shaykh, part of his mujahada is that he must speak little, and he only speaks for the sake of Allah, avoiding let alone haram kalam, which is backbiting, lying, slandering, foul speech. He avoids futile, useless speech. He keeps his tongue occupied with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The mureed doesn't only eat little, but he must be careful of what enters his mouth and enters the stomach. For the main cause, as mentioned by the Salaf, as to when a man really attains maqam with Allah is with eating halal. Because if what you enter into your body is haram or mashkook, What comes out of your body will either be haram or mashkook. What comes in being pure, halal, tayyib, then your a'mal that will come out will be pure, halal, tayyib. Part of the mujahada of the mureed is that he takes out of his heart love of the dunya. It can't be that in this one heart you have love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in the same heart you have love for the dunya. Love for the dunya doesn't only mean wealth. Love for the dunya doesn't only mean jobs. Love for the dunya includes titles, includes wanting positions, includes wanting a riyasa, leadership, includes wanting praise and honor. The heart must be free of such things. They don't happen overnight, but there must be a struggle. There must be a struggle. One beautiful example of one of the awliya in Tazkiratul Awliya is that there was a prince who came to the halaqah of this wali. And he sat down and he heard the accounts. He heard the wa'az and he was moved. And he decided to become a faqir, to become from these people. So he came to the Shaykh and he said to him, I want to enter into your circle. I want to be from the fuqara. And the Shaykh said, not until you get rid of the dunya. So this prince went back home. He took all his gold coins that he had as wealth. He came to the river and one by one he threw them into the river. After throwing all of them away, one by one, he came back to the Shaykh. He said, I've rid myself of the dunya. The Shaykh said, you're still not worthy. He said, why? He said, because you throwing these coins one by one shows that you had value for them. If they had no value, you would have thrown them all at once. But you're throwing them one at once shows that there was value of them in the heart. This you must get rid of in order for you to allow the heart to become that bed in which the seed sprouts and brings forth the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he initially would stop people to go and sit with the Sufis. And he would say, don't sit with them, we have everything that they have. We have the ahadith of the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam, and for sure, he did have them. But he then went to the circle of the Sufis, the awliya, although he was an wali himself, and one of the greatest awliya of his time, only then did he realize what was in that circle. If you are sitting outside that circle, you will never know what's inside that circle. It's like telling a man, what does it mean, a thirsty man asking you in the desert, what does it mean, what does it feel like to quench your thirst in a hot summer's day with cool, cold water? You can't explain in words. You have to enter the circle yourself. The awliya mention what does it mean to be a mureed, a sadiq. And they say the mureed in the hands of the shaykh is like the dead body at the hands of the ghasil. The same way when you become a mayyit and you are there in front of the ghasil, the washer, you have no control, you have no choice. This is what it means to be a mureed. That when you give your hand, your heart, your soul, your mind to the shaykh, you become his. Your wujud is no longer your wujud. You are only attached to him. You are known by him. I want to leave you with the words of Imam Shafi'i, rahimahullah ta'ala wa radiya anhu. He used to go and sit with the awliya Allah, the Sufis. And people asked him, what did you benefit from them? He said, istafattu minhum shay'ain. I benefited two things from these people. From Ahlullah, Ahlul Tariqah, from the Sufiya, I benefited two things. The first of them being their qawl, their statement, Al-waqtu sayfu, in lam taqta'ahu qata'ak. Time is a sword. If you don't chop it, cut it, it will cut you. That is to say, if you don't occupy your time in good, use it wisely, it will let you go. And before you realize, you may become of old age. And then you may say, I don't have the himmah any longer to start this path. Time is like a sword. If you don't cut it, it will cut you. And the second thing he said I learned from these people is that if you don't occupy your nafs with good actions, your nafs will occupy you with evil actions. It's one way or the other. Either your nafs is occupied with you teaching it good, dhikr Allah, halaqat al-dhikr, halaqat al-ilm, attending the dhikr of the shaykh, in his sahaba, with the brothers, the ikhwan, in good actions, then soon the nafs will occupy you in evil, in things that do not concern you, in things that are harmful for your suluk with your shaykh. Much has been said and much more needs to be said. And for sure I've been unable to give a true picture of what it means to be a Mureed Sadiq. But if you want to see a living example of what it means to be a Mureed Sadiq, then we need look no further than our respectable and honorable Khalifa of Khawaja Zinda Pir, Khalifatul Mujaz, Sufi Muhammad Abdullah Khan Sahib Hafizahullah Ta'ala, a true Mureed Sadiq of his Shaykh Kab. Allah Ta'ala give us all tawfiq, that like him we are all able to become true Mureedeen, so that we become true Mureedeen to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, attaining the ma'rifah of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, saving ourselves from the abasement of the Akhirah. We ask Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala to accept this humble effort. Whatever good has been said because of the fayzan of the awliya Allah. Whatever evil has been or wrong being said, then it is for myself and shaitan. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.